What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of What Are They Cooking, the series where I go over viewer-submitted replays. As always, if you have some replays you would like to send in, you can do so at the Discord link in the description. Just go to the Edison Format Replays channel and post them there. We're starting off here today with a couple sent in by Cold Madness. Those of you who don't know, Cold Madness is a very powerful fairy player. I believe actually the only result for the pure fairy deck of note in 2023 came from Cold Madness. He like topped the WCQ or something with the pure fairy deck. I believe I went over that list on the channel in one of my top 8 videos, if I recall. So yeah, obviously very distinguished individual here, and he's sent in a couple replays with fairy frogs. Now this is a deck that has been tried before. I don't know if Ronak invented it, but I know Ronak piloted it about a year ago at DDV3. I forget what his exact list looked like, or if it was how similar it was to this one. Like I said, I don't know if he was even the one to invent that. But yeah, I guess the point of synergy is that like Christia is a tribute monster. You can go like Econ, take their guy with Treeborn, and tribute some of Christia. It's not exactly clear to me, honestly. The real point of synergy is that you lose twice as hard to deck dev, which Cold Madness actually sent these replays into me in the middle of my members only stream, and I like talked about deck dev a little bit. And basically, I mentioned that, well, the deck losing to deck dev doesn't really make it bad automatically. A lot of people pretend like, oh man, this deck has 20 deck dev targets, it's unplayable. But if that was actually how the game worked, then the format would be very different, because basically what would happen would be like people would just stop playing decks that lose to deck dev because it would be unplayable, and then people would also stop playing deck dev because no one's playing decks that lose to deck dev, and then it would just be in this weird rotation where people would go back to playing decks that lose to deck dev because people stopped siding it, and it would just go back and forth. But the format's not really like that. Decks that lose hard to deck dev just exist simultaneously with DDV and the side decks. So clearly that's not like a disqualifying factor or anything, but it is noteworthy that I saw Ronak get DDV'd for like 6 cards out of his hand on stream with his deck. So yeah, the opponent is playing Counter Fairy in this replay, which I think this was the replay that actually gave the idea to play the Sanctuary in the Sky deck, although this is a very different build than what I ultimately came up with. They're playing... This build was super weird, but the thing about Counter Fairy is it's quite bad, but whenever you face it, they always open Artemis set 3. I don't know how it happens, but that's just what goes on. So we got a Treeborn reviving here, activate Econ, that gets Dark Bribed, so they draw 1 card. And then a really weird play here where they don't Judgment the Brain Control. I guess the fear is if they just have a Monarch. It actually kind of works out well for them because they go for the sub play and then they just Judgment the sub. But this means Cold Madness gets to draw 1 with the Artemis effect, so very funny. We activate Sanctuary, we summon this thing, which, what is this? Gain 1,000 after each counter trap is activated, and then with Sanctuary on the field, it also pops a card randomly. You can kind of see why I didn't play that in my deck. It's AIDS, it's bad. So we draw into Divine Wrath. Okay, that doesn't really do anything. We get drop-offed, but that also doesn't do anything. We're going out of 400 life, and we're dead, right? All right, Counter Fairy, it's a great deck. What can I say? On to game number 2. What do we got here? We got cards. We draw Heavy Storm, which isn't bad. We could maybe potentially... We draw Typhoon as well, and Uni. We're actually just so good here. We're so golden. Opponent rips Artemis, because of course they do. Of course they do, but I think the opponent ends up making some super questionable plays this game, if I remember correctly. Like here, they should have just Divine Wrathed this Unifrog, and they don't for some reason. And then they tribute their Artemis. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counter traps, and they tribute their Artemis to summon Tethys. Why? I don't know. I don't understand, because like all of these counter traps just end up going -1 now. They don't replace themselves. We got End Phase Typhoon, whatever. We activate Storm, Bribe, that's a -1. We go for Swap Frog, that gets Divine Wrath for some reason. That's a -1. We summon Junk Synchron. Okay, Rug is a 1-for-1 there, but all of these would have just been +1 more if we had the Artemis on the board. But instead we have Tethys. All right, so Tethys is so weird in here too, because you're playing Counter Fairy, which means you've got a bunch of traps. So it's like, how many cards are you really drawing with Tethys? Also, you're drawing 0 with Tethys because it gets orange lighted. Then we get drop-offed, but that's fine. We draw Cyber Valley, draw 2. Oh, Cyber Valley with Treeborn is kind of funny. I mean, you don't really want to banish your Treeborn, but at the same time, this deck probably doesn't play more than like 3 Caius or whatever, so it's like fine. Alright, we draw another Artemis, hit over the Uni, but now we have Nova Summoner. What's that get us into? Dimmalk, Crash. No, not Crash, Honest. Alright, we draw. We find a Divine Wrath. Our Dimmalk gets Divine Wrath, so they get to summon Vandalion and revive Tethys, but Dimmalk gets to add back. Wait, what? Why didn't they add back? Am I... Oh, it gets killed on Chainlink too. What am I talking about? Well, wait. Doesn't Divine Wrath negate the activation, though? I feel like Dimmalk should not miss timing there. Am I crazy? Am I... Yeah, I don't know. We drop Gores anyway, so it's fine. Then we just hit over everything, and then the game is just over because for some reason we're playing Tethys. That's okay, though. We have a better match with this deck up against a real matchup, which is Vayu Turbo, as you can see here. I think Cold Man's is going to be going first. We start out with Summon Treeborn. We do see that they are on Caius. Triple Caius, probably the bare minimum if you're playing any kind of Treeborn Frog deck, so I definitely understand that. Oh, yeah, we also saw Dark Dust. So maybe it's like 3 Caius, 1 Dark Dust, and then just like other stuff. I can see that. So we just go with Set, our Recruiter. We don't play into Gores with the Caius, which is good because they actually had the Gores. They're going to stack for Plague and use Grepher to get the Vayu Synchro. They go for Goyo. Goyo just does not want to take... no, they take Treeborn. Okay, so they hit over the Recruiter. I feel like they should have hit over with the Goyo first and then hit with Armed Wing, but yeah, whatever. We have Storm, and then we should just be summoning Dark Dust Spirit at some point. No, we're going to make Mistworm instead. All right, that's probably better, actually, because it puts back our Treeborn. Very funny. We hit in. They do have Gores and Burial, so they're not fully out of it, but they're in a bad spot, and Typhoon is not the draw in this matchup, obviously. They can hit over everything. Okay, we do have 5 in hand, but 2 of them are just frogs. Now 3 of them are just frogs. However, Dark Dust Spirit absolutely obliterates us here. Out to the Gores and the token, and we don't have an out to that Dark Dust Spirit right now. We set, okay, we should probably like set the Burial, but it doesn't matter. We just died at Caius, so yeah. On to the next one. Okay, we've brought in some pre. We have Dust Shoot plus Rug plus Fossil Dyna. I mean, you better win this one, Vayu player. We go in with the Grepher. We summon Caius. We attack. All right. Opponent doesn't have Gores. We summon Dyna, and now it's looking really tough to see how Fairy Frogs is going to pull through in this one. They can set Substitute, but they need Brain. They need like Soul Release or something, or Soul Exchange. Not Soul Release. Soul Release wouldn't do crap, I promise. Yeah, kind of looks like we're just getting owned and going to game 3. That can happen. That has been known to happen. We storm just for information, and we go on to game number 3. All right, can Cold Madness prevail? Can he pull through? We draw a decent hand. We just go normal summon, pass. All right, we go for Soul X, Caius. Fortunately, no Torrential. That would have been a big punish. But, you know, as I say many times, frogs kind of just have to always pray it's not Torrential because there's nothing you can do if it is. So we go summon swap, and this is just not lethal because they have Necrogardener. We bounce the Caius, but now we might actually be in trouble because of the Fossil Dyna. No, we have the Book of Moon. Okay, we will live to fight another day. The Treeborn comes down. We bring out Caius a second time. We hit over the Dyna. Okay, opponent draws Card Trooper. They need to mill up the 3 darks, though, and they don't. How many darks did they have? 2. Yeah, they just needed to mill all 3 darks. That was like their only chance or something. I don't know. But yeah, Fairy Frog going to take a 2-1 over Vayu Turbo as well. Now let's move on and look at some other decks that were sent in. Starting off with, this is a... I had to review this one because it's like a Frost and Flame Dragon replay, and we all know how obsessed I am with that card. Every time I see it in action, I just want to go like build a Frost and Flame Dragon deck. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Here, we're going to see Masha resolve a Dust Shoot, opting to make a big mistake by taking Treeborn Frog when she should have been taking Frost and Flame Dragon. Duh. Look at all these back row. How is Treeborn ever even going to be live? Ask yourself that question. So we get into Raikou. Raikou hits the Rocket. Okay. And we just poke for 2. We do indeed. Opponent's back row actually has a lot of really live stuff. We set everything. We go for the Raikou. We hit the middle one, but that's just Blaze Accelerator. We don't care about that. Opting not to Torrential just yet because there's a bunch of little weenies. We could probably deprison that Necrogardener. We don't, okay? Drawing the redundant Frost and Flame is pretty bad. This is why you got to play a 2-off, I think, ratio on that card. So we get Rocket. For some reason, we don't use Rocket Effect. Why not? That's super weird. All right, we pitched a special swap. So Frost and Flame is live now. We also have a set Judgment. What is this back row? Mirror Force. So Masha's got to use that before she uses Gores. We set Beckoning. Okay, so we're just not using Gores. We're going to Mirror Force the swap. Now, presumably, Frost and Flame comes down. Have they been forgetting to use Shell this whole time? Some questionable plays, but Frost and Flame comes down. It's going to trade well into this. We out the Raikou, and then we also get to hit in for 23, and they have to deal with this big Frost and Flame boy on the field. We draw Card Trooper. That's not so great. We just go for Beckoning, get JD, Honest, and Lila. So the Lila will just get Bottomless, right? No. Did they not have Bottomless? No, they don't. Okay, they just had Double Deepers and Solemn, so we Solemn the JD, and we're golden. We mill a Wolf, which is good. We should just kill the... Why did we... No. You know there's Honest. What are you doing? Oh, man. Okay, so we Avarice everything back. Okay, we could have summoned Thestalos, too, but we could have made Cataster. We could have summoned Thestalos. We could have popped the Wolf. We could have... And then we just kill ourselves on Honest. Okay. All right. That was probably... That might be one of the most egregious turns I've ever seen on What Are They Cooking? And we have seen some bullshit here, so... Yeah, we're going to go set everything even though we have Gores in our hands. Okay, you know what? This doesn't even faze me compared to what I just watched, so... We go for summon Rocket. Man, I actually have to play Frost and Flame after this just to clear its good name after what I just saw. That was tragic. That was so tragic. We literally had that game. We had that game so many ways, and we just, chose not to. Okay. So we summon Gilman. We hit over Arcus. All right, the annoying no-targety boy is gone. We go charge, get Lila. We should just summon Celestia and, win. We are not going to Judgment that. Why not? All right. We deprison instead. We summon Swap. We hit for 1,000. Does Gores get dropped? It does. So now we put the Swap back. And we have Gores live, but it's not going to be great. We just have to use it to stay alive, pretty much. We should drop it here. No, we took too much damage now for no reason. I guess this means they have to think about JD popping, but I don't really think they ever do that in a million years. I think this is greed. I don't know. Was there any point in keeping this Gores token around? It's not helping us win the game. We go JD, blow up the field, and we go swap. What does this do? This doesn't do anything. Yeah, we just give them back the JD and we lose. Okay. Yeah, nice one. Well, sadly, Frost and Flame didn't do it, but I think it had... definitely should have won Game 1, no doubt there. Game 2, maybe a little bit harder. I'm not exactly sure. I was a bit disillusioned at that point, but yeah. On to the final replay that we have today, which is actually yet another match with the Chaos control list we featured last time. I decided to go over this one because the match was just really cool and very intense. I think the Chaos control type of decks that use the Fader, Caius, Dimmalk are definitely cool. My main issue with them is that they're kind of just boneless Chaos Fairy. You know, you're playing a lot of the same stuff. You're playing Dimmalk, Angel, Warrior Lady, Cyber Valley, Fader, Caius, but it's just you're choosing to play a version that doesn't have Orange Light, Honest, and Christia, which are very good cards, it turns out. So that's my main kind of objection to this version of the list, but I still think it's super cool to watch, and it's a decent approach to the meta still, I think. It has a lot of the good stuff going for it anyway. So we're going to see a Dark End get made, and they just beat over Caius, of course, wanting to play around Trag, Gores, Fader in this matchup since they're on all three of those. We go for Brain Control, attack, opponent's going to not deprison. We go for the safe play, which is to Cyber Valley rather than Tribute for Caius. This could only really go wrong if they had Solemn and just chose not to Solemn our Brain Con, so I think that's unlikely. I guess Torrential punishes both plays equally. So the opponent goes for Book of Life. They bring back Reaper on Nightmare. Man, this zombie attack's actually super annoying with all the hand ripping, the instant fusion version. We bring down Trag, though, which is really good, because if they rip anything other than Cyber Dragon, we can just out that Reaper for free. Very crucially, they also don't rip our Heavy Storm, so we can just go +1 here, and then just kill that. We could... Okay, we turn Trag 6, we make Darken, but unfortunately the set is a Goblin Zombie, so the opponent's just going to get a search. And this also puts them, I believe, to 3 Darks in the graveyard, which means Dark Arm Dragon is just going to come down. They summon Zombie Master, and now they steal our Plague. That's sad. That's sad indeed. They hit in... Do we have Fader? We do have Fader. The Fader gets popped. Always good when they feel like they have to pop Fader to play around Caius, even when you don't have it. We go for Doomcow, hit over. Okay, but Brain Control should just be the end of the game, right? We make a level 6 Synchro, we attack for lethal. Yeah, that is it. So Dad is gonna do big work owning us there. We go set Decree, set Doomcow. What do we do here? Flip up Doomcow, attack the set Sangan. They go for Phoenix Wing, we chain Decree. If they just set one of their battle traps and used that first, they could have chained the Phoenix Wing to out the Decree, but that's not what they opted to do. So the Doomcow's going to trade with the Sangan. We summon Dimalk, banish Sidra. I think Dimalk's a super underrated normal summon. It's one of the reasons I like these kind of decks. It's just like... It's like a pseudo... I don't know how to describe it. It's like an 1800 that replaces itself, so it's like a not as good Stratos, basically. Even though it doesn't search, it like does a similar sort of thing where it's just like... add some random card from your deck to your hand to replace itself, and it's an 18 beater, and it gets under bottomless. Yes, I guess it gets run over more easily, but you never are upset to have Dimalk get run over. The fact that it's 18 on offense is a lot more significant. Plus, that also means it crashes with a lot of normal summons like Shura, like Stratos, like Gear Frame, and you can get +1s that way as well. So, yeah, I think Dimalk super slept on is just like a generically good normal summon. We bring out Warrior Lady. That is going to be met with a Torrential, unfortunately, which is pretty much the best thing they could have had there set with the Goblin. And now we're going to get a card hand-ripped here with the Spirit Reaper. Hopefully they hit one of our Darks that isn't Sork, but they hit the Dimalk, so that's not too good. We can go set Plague here. They actually opt to just do nothing. Should they have just done nothing here? I guess maybe they're playing around it being like a Battle Recruiter or something. Well, we bring out Caius anyway, so that's kind of rough. And we out the Reaper. The opponent does have Return Dad Brain Control, so you would think this game should go well for them. Also, they can bring back our Plague again, which we probably should have sided out this Plague at this point. It's like only okay-ish in this deck. It's not like a crucial engine card, and they're playing zombies, which means they just abuse our Plague more than we do, honestly. And we can't even Crow it, which is very rough, so... They're going to hit in, take a bunch of damage. We have to bring out Sork at this point. We can get rid of... Do we actually get rid of the Zombie Master? Okay, so then we want to make, like, Thought Ruler hit over. They have Phoenix Wing, but one really great thing about Decree is that it's an answer to back row that works under Stardust. So, yeah, the Phoenix Wing's not going to do anything. We're going to make Thought Ruler. We're going to gain a ton of life. And now it's like Dad Return... Well, Return is dead, so it's just like Dark Armed or Bust. How many Darks? 1, 2. They need one more. We do run over the one more here. They could have also rammed this. However, we probably would have DD Crowed at that point because it's pretty obvious why they're ramming Sangan. So it's actually better that they didn't. So now they're going to bring out that Dark Arm Dragon. And the Dark Arm Dragon's really good, not gonna lie. It's going to kill our whole field. It's actually, yeah, this actually just obliterates everything. We could have... No, there's nothing... Yeah, we just got, like, completely dumpstered there by Dad. Rough. So they have our Recruiter. They have a Dad. They have a set RFDD. What do we even need to draw here? We need to draw, like, Brain Mind. That's it. Okay, we draw Mind Con. Wow. We're that good. That was, like... This game was so over. And then we just draw Mind Con. So now we out the Return and the Battle Recruiter and the Dark Arts. That's the... easiest +2 value Minecon I've ever seen. Opponent hits into our Doomcaliber Knight, and we just go swing in. I like the play of setting Doomcal there to play around bottomless. Obviously very good in that situation. We're going to Tribute Cyber Valley, summon Caius, but we lose the 50-50 on the back row. Opponent goes for Book of Life. We chain Crow. We set Typhoon. We draw Knock. They draw Plague, activate a Lore, so they go Diva into Diva. No, they wait a turn. Okay, now they have Instant Fusion, so they have to go for this Diva play, right? They activate Storm now. Why didn't they just Storm first? I don't know. Okay, so they make Arcanite, and we have to just eat 24 here, I think. We can go, like, Book Knock. It's, like, fine. Yeah, we outed the Arcanite with 2 cards there. It's like a GOAT format out. But the opponent rips Caius off the top, so they can go Cyber Dragon into Caius. We draw Knock again. We have to just hope they don't draw a monster, and they don't. We, again, just have to hope they don't draw a monster, and they don't. We draw Dimmalk. That's pretty good. We could set it, but then we risk dying. Actually, we could add back Fader, so maybe we don't risk dying. I think the play that they go for is to crash and then get back Chaos Sork, and then that way the spooky Caius monster is just gone. A lot of their win cons are actually gone at this point. I don't know if they've gotten to Mizuki yet. We knock, though, the turtle, which means now we can just go for game with the Chaos Sorcerer. All right, that was a crazy game number 3. Anyway, as always, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace out. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Furthermore, if you enjoy my content, you should think about becoming a channel member. You get access to tons of bonus content, and it's a great way to help support the channel.